Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another beer reviews. Tonight's beer, we're going to go north of the border and we're going to go to the Harviestoun Brewery with our Ola Dubh barrel-aged beer, to be able to say that then. This one is the 12 reserve one, so this one has been aged for about 6 months in a 12-year-old whiskey barrel. So it's not been aged for 12 years, unfortunately. That would be amazing, so I'll just get her on open while I'm talking. I think the whiskey that's been used is Highland Park Reserve, and Highland Park do class whiskies. I really enjoy some of their stuff, so it should be quite interesting to see what they get. And obviously the range of whiskies is just as diverse, if not more diverse, in the beer world as well. So I'm guessing, I don't know exactly the full details about which whiskey there's been whiskey barrel it's been aged in, but there you go. That's the bottle. It is a very pretty little one with a little Harviestoun mouse. I love it. And it's even got like the kind of the signs and sealed by the head brewer, which is kind of a normal thing that you see on whiskey barrels, I always like to think. Now, I believe that this is actually the motor oil. I think they call it motor oil. Is their beer? Sorry, old engine oil. If I remember rightly, old engine oil that's been matured in the in these casks for for 6 months in a 12-year-old barrel, and it comes out about 8% at the end of it. So we've got an 8% beer here. So let's pop our open and give it a try. Didn't want to open then. Pour out into a nice glass. Oh wow, thick and chunky. It just sounds really heavy even when you're pouring it. And that's me pouring it rather vigorously there, and you can probably see that there is not much in the way of head going on the top there. And there's not much sediment at the bottom of the glass, sorry, at the bottom of the bottle, so I managed to get it all through. There you go, black as the night. Lovely, deep, dark beer. And it's a very, very fast dissipated head actually, which is fine, you know, that's kind of thing. And it's lacing quite well on the side of the glass as well. So without further ado, actually, having said that, there's a lot of carbonation going on as well. Can you see it just down the sides of the glasses? So there's still quite a lot of fizzy nature to the beer. So let's give it a good old smell. Wowzers! Oh, the smell is kind of a very typical molasses and coffee sort of smell from the stout that's used, from the dark, deep dark beer that's being used as a base for this. There's also a nice hint of vanilla, a kind of spirity vanilla-y flavour that must have come from the barrels that it's been aged in, and also a nice little touch of smokiness coming through it as well. It's got a little kind of tart edge to it, which I can't really put my finger on. It's kind of vanilla, kind of just goes a little bit tart towards the end, and that's quite pleasant. It's the nice mix of smokiness and the vanilla. I think it's probably giving that kind of tart, bitter flavour, bitter aroma on the nostril. So without further ado, the head's completely gone now actually, I'll just add as well, but it is still lacing down the sides of the glasses, so that's fine. Cheers! Oh, lovely and rich, predominantly roasted flavours. So it's like really lovely roast ground coffee flavour coming through, really thick and juicy, and a nice smoky peatiness coming through as well, which comes kind of with a meaty sort of flavour. Let's give it another try. The vanilla-y sort of tones come through at the end as well, and there's nice vanilla bean fruitiness towards the end, and a lovely, very balanced and consistent bitterness as well. That kind of it's lingering. It's a long lingering flavour, and so is the flavour of the roasted caramelly, chocolatey flavours that are coming through as well. And in fact, the bitterness kind of tastes a lot like the coffee bitterness. In fact, I'd say there's quite a lot of coffee in this, or flavours of coffee I should say. There isn't any coffee in this beer. And it's got a wonderfully thick mouthfeel as well. It feels very full-bodied to me. It feels very chunky and very, very, very juicy. It's quite wet as well. It's not a particularly dry beer. It doesn't dry out the mouth. It more kind of unctuously just coats your tongue. It's very lovely in that regard. And my carbonation as well is just right. It's lovely and just flows and very smooth and bubbly, kind of rolling across your tongue. I'd really like to try the other beers in this range as well, the Ola Dubh range, because this one's just, like I said, it's the 12. It's the beer that's been matured in a 12-year-old whiskey's cask, but they also do one, I believe, for 16, or is it 15 and 18 years as well. So different levels of flavour coming through in those two different kinds of beers as well, I would assume. And maybe doing a little comparison between the two would be interesting. I assume this one will be the lightest in flavour, or the lightest in the palate. It'd be interesting to see how these older barrels would affect the flavour and also like the palate feel, because it still feels really thick and heavy. It just, I mean, Old Engine Oil, the name of the porter stout that this beer is before it's been matured, it is really quite it is wonderfully thick, and it's very, very enjoyable. I don't get any kind of hint of any untoward flavour in it. It feels very smooth and very balanced. Having said that, I've tried beers in this style before, and it definitely comes up to par with them. But I've seen a lot that are a lot more adventurous and are better in that regard. So I think I'm going to give this a nice solid 8.5 out of 10. It's a very full on and well flavoured beer. It's very apt in many of the technical aspects of the beer. It's just not as adventurous as I'd like to see. I've tried other beers that roughly do the same kind of thing and kind of pull it off better, have a lot more diverse palate flavour. This one's kind of a coffee and a sweet vanilla-y flavour and a deep dark sugary flavour, and I've seen other flavours come through it in beers of this style that impress me more. But this is still a phenomenally nice beer, and it's priced very competitively for a beer of its strength and of its character. And it's providing an exceptional brewery as well that I've had beers from before and have enjoyed very much. So definitely go and check out Harviestoun. Definitely go and check out this beer if you get your hands on one of the, if it's a 15 or 16 on the 18-year-old one, get your hands on one of those as well. I'm definitely going to try and give them a review in the future as well. So thank you ever so much for watching Bear Beer Reviews. Like, favourite, comment, subscribe and all of the above, and I shall see you again for the next review. Cheers.